Fooled ya. What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the Pleb Underground. The signal without the slop. We were flying high this morning for a minute and got chopped off at the neckline. Bitcoin sitting at 86 and change. That's right. That's right. And of course, what's going on here? The block height 928,298. Very nice. Very nice. Well, we started off with some Bitcoin morning wood, and that quickly evaporated. Just totally disappeared. But fear not. Fear not. Tons of hopium. Tons of hopium. And a whole bunch of other fun news. And we're going to dive right into it because that's right, guys. Somehow, even though the 4-year cycle is at play, version 30 killed Bitcoin. And of course, if those two things don't destroy Bitcoin, then quantum computing absolutely will, but somehow 300K is still in play. So we're going to take a look at that. We've also got some S-curve hopium, some Bitcoin gamma trap. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds great, and it feels like Bitcoin's going to go higher, so we're going to take a look at that. Real signal is that the lightning capacity is going up, right? People are taking their Bitcoin, and they're putting it to work using the Lightning Network by essentially putting their Bitcoin into channels to be used as liquidity for payments. So yeah, that's the actual real signal, Bitcoin being used. And of course, people can argue about centralization and stuff like that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, it's people actually using Bitcoin for payments. And last I checked, that was still okay. Right? Right? So FDIC and the Senate Banking Committee. It's like one step forward, one step back. What the hell's going on over there? We're going to take a look at some news out of that. Hester Pierce's comments, right, about privacy should be a norm. Makes you feel good, doesn't it? Makes me feel good. It's all warm and fuzzy. I like that, you know. These people in charge care about my privacy and my security. It's so important. ETH is capitulating, but maybe not in the way that you think. And of course, we've got a Samourai update. And guys, before we dive into all that stuff, you know the deal. We're going to give a shout out to the Pleb Underground sponsor, Archimedes Emporium. And we're going to be right back to dive into all of this fun. Here we go, guys. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. That's right. Whoop, whoop, juggalos. You ever watch that guy on Twitter that he's a juggalo and he just does these terrible things like jumping into barbed wire and like broken light bulbs and stuff like that? There's some bad stuff. I don't know. But you know, it's one of those things like a train wreck, right? It's like you can't look away. The second you see him about to start, you're like, all right, I'll watch. Okay, all right, guys, let's go. We need some hopium, right? We just watched Bitcoin. We thought that's it. It was over, and then, you know, we were going to go to the moon, and we got stopped out at 90K and went right back down. It's almost like the institutions are desperately trying to make the average retail hodler think it's over and you better get out while you can. Well, I'll tell you this. I'm not going anywhere. So good luck to them. They can do this frickin' BART pattern all they want. Too bad. Okay, so anyways, Bitcoin has dipped more than 30% 3 times this cycle. Yeah, that's right. And the 2 previous times were great times to buy. Yes, agreed. Absolutely agreed. And yeah, guys, that's it. You know, it's just all about zooming out. You know, there is just so much noise in this space, you know, and everybody's trying to sell you on their narrative, right? My narrative is this. It's very simple. Stay solvent so that you can afford to hang on to the Bitcoin that you have. It's good to have an income so that you can continue to acquire Bitcoin. And then the last part of it is none of us have any idea what the hell we're talking about. Okay? That's very hard to accept, but some people say it more convincingly than others. I do not say it very convincingly. But it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. So let's continue. So guys, yeah, 36% down. I am just not buying. It's over. I don't care. All right, S-curve, Hopium. Let's do it out of the Bitcoin Teddy account. So this isn't the Teddy Bitcoin account. It's the Bitcoin Teddy account. This account is a little bit more fun for me than the other one. The other one's a little bit pompous. But this one, I like this account. He's got the S-curve Hopium. So look, guys, I got to tell you, according to this chart, I mean, it could be what the next 3 weeks, the next 6 weeks. All of a sudden, we're just going to rip right through from wherever the hell we are now to 637,000, and then 4.4 million by 2027. So, just hodl. Gonna be good. I love this. I love these charts. I remember when I used to believe these things like they were 100% certain. You know, I was like, okay, I just gotta wait. You know, go back, take a look at the chart. You know, yep, that's it. That's right. Kid is taking the BTC. There you go. And I'm not selling. That's right, guys. If you've got kids or you have family that you want to ensure that they are probably not going to suffer into the future by being able to store their value. Yeah, that's right. It's going to the family. Good stuff. Still trying to figure out who to give mine to. So anyways, let's continue. That's right. We've got more fun. Okay, here we go, guys. The Gamma Hopium. The Gamma Hopium is good times. The Gamma Trap, 10 days. I was talking about this yesterday, right? And this guy, this account, David ENG MBA, he is pushing this. You think the Bears have gone to sleep? I hope so. Men 101, the Bears have gone to sleep. Alts are melting. Yes, thank God, dude. It is glorious. It is glorious what is happening. I totally agree. Yeah, they really didn't get an alt season. They did not. Hey, good morning. Good morning. Cold deck. That's right. Okay. Let's continue here. The Gamma Trap. I was talking about this yesterday. This guy is serving up some serious hopium, and essentially the 2 dates he's telling us to pay attention to is 2 days from now, December 19th. That's the first shoe to drop, and then December 26th. Now, do I believe in this? Like, do I believe that this is going to happen? No, I don't. Am I cautiously optimistic that this type of scenario could play out? Sure, of course I am. Am I banking on it? Hell no. Hell no. I've seen tons of this stuff. Okay? So, the bottom line, here we go. The coil is tight, but is locked. Okay, so he's saying until December 26th, but he did mention in yesterday's post December 19th for the options expiry. Or I could be mixing those two up. Anyways, doesn't matter. So, he's saying 85K is the floor, the great unwind begins, and the path towards 118K. Those are rookie numbers. Here's about 118K. Anyways, okay, fine. You know what? Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take the 118K right now because we're sitting at, where are we? 86.8. 86.8. And people are crying, right? Like you're seeing Bitcoin's oversold. The fear greed index is all the way over to 11 on the fear side. 86K? Some of you listen to way too many hopium dealers and you drank the Kool-Aid, unfortunately. That's okay. That's okay. All right, so here we go, guys. This is where we're getting the 300K number. This is it. We've got the lines, the neckline. We've got the little happy faces in the charts. The stars are aligning. Bitcoin's inverse head and shoulder retesting the neckline with target well above 300K. That's right, guys. I shortchanged you. Told you 300K. Quant data, who may or may not be my quant, is calling for over 300K. It's making me feel good. Yeah, exactly, right? Look at the yearly lows. I know. It's, dude, it's just crazy, man. It is just crazy what is happening out there. And people are genuinely melting down. I was in a space yesterday where there was somebody yelling at other people for what they were doing with their Bitcoin, right? Whether they were choosing to sell some of it or hodl it, like they're just freaking out. It's good times. It's good times. I enjoy seeing the Bitcoin derangement syndrome. That is part of the fun, and I am here for it. All right, that's what's happening. Okay, guys, the real hopium here. The Bitcoin Lightning Network capacity makes a new all-time high. Something that's interesting. Now, that could be a signal that people think that we're cooling off. And the reason I say this is because when people sometimes, at least this is what I've seen in the past, when some people believe that we're not going to see higher USD values in Bitcoin, they then decide, for whatever reason, it's time to start putting your Bitcoin to work, because whatever it is, the monkey brain decides, hey, I haven't made enough this cycle, whatever it is, not enough NGU, I need to do something. I need to put this to work. I mean, look, in terms of using Lightning, it's not the worst thing that you can do, quote unquote, to put your Bitcoin to work, right? Because you can host your own node, you can provide your own routing. Yes, indeed, it does take a little time and effort to learn how to do it. However, it can be done. Or, of course, right, you can go to a service like Amboss, right, which I am a customer of. I'm a customer of Amboss. They do not sponsor the channel. Just saying. And, you know, you can then set up a node with them and have them control your liquidity. Either way, my point is that this type of stuff, it's not unusual. I'm happy to see this. One point about this, though, that we should be aware, this particular chart is not including any of the private channel Bitcoin, right? There's an unknown amount of Bitcoin in private Lightning channels that we have no visibility into. We don't know what that number is. So in all fairness, this number, whatever we're seeing here, that's like close to like 6,000 Bitcoin on the Lightning network, that's not the whole picture, right? That is just the public nodes. That's all. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sani. Hey, welcome, dude. Of course, the wonderful charts today, man. Of course. Now, if anybody, guys, I always say this, but if you're going to pay attention to anyone that's doing Chainalysis, Sani XP, essentially, anytime I see any account that's like, oh, this amount of Bitcoin has moved, I go check Sani's account to see what he says. Because you can't trust any of them, right? You can't trust any of them. And Sani always brings the sauce, right? He always actually shows you the data. That's what matters. Anyways, okay, I'll stop. Stop and continue. Here we go. All right, we are moving on to the dance between the FDIC and the Senate Banking Committee, right? I don't know what kind of a dance it is, but it's a bit of a dance, right? One step forward, two steps back, who knows? So, tweet from Eleanor Tourette. This morning, the FDIC, that was yesterday, guys, board voted to open a 60-day public comment period on its process for banks seeking to issue stable coins via subsidiaries. It's the first official rulemaking proposal to come from the passage of the Genius Act. So nothing has happened. Okay, contrary to like the feeling that people get, where like, oh, something has happened. You know, they got one thing done. No, they opened it up for comments. Okay, yes, it's a step in the right direction. That's cool. But nothing has actually happened. Now we got to go through the comments. This is all going to take time. Okay. This is all just red tape and time. So buckle up. This isn't happening. None of this stuff is happening tomorrow. And again, this has nothing to do with Bitcoin. This is all just stable coin, kicking the can down the road nonsense as the empire clock ticks on. That's all this is. Yeah. Okay. On the other side of this, right, we've got the Senate Banking Committee that confirms that Bitcoin and crypto market structure bill will not advance in 2025. So let's review. The FDIC opened this up for comments. Nothing is happening. Then, number two, we've got the crypto market structure bill, where nothing is happening by the end of the year. Now, if you're surprised that nothing is happening in the next 2 weeks by the bureaucracy of this country, you're just, I'm sorry, you've drank too much Kool-Aid. You've drank too much Kool-Aid and you believe that these people are doing more than they are. Okay? Like, that's it. Like, the shop is closed. So, guys, we're not going to see anything until mid-January if we're lucky. But either way, it's all just going to be stablecoin nonsense. That's all it is. All right, guys. The Hester Pierce comments. Get ready. You're about to feel warm and fuzzy here. Hey, Knoxville 200K. That's right. Yo. And I am also a fan of the 200K. I'm one of those people who bought the Hopium for myself. My own Hopium was that we were going to see approximately 180 to 220. So far, it's December 17th, and I'm freaking wrong. That doesn't surprise me that I'm wrong, though. But I'd like to be right. But it's just an ego trip. Okay, so SEC Commissioner Hester Pierce, right, says privacy should be the norm. Let's take a listen. Her actual comments, okay?
The norm? Not an indicator of criminal intent. Government should resist the temptation to force intermediation for the purpose of creating a regulatory beachhead or facilitating financial surveillance. We already
have financial surveillance. this is gaslighting at a level that people don't even, you don't even understand the psyop that is happening. They're telling you what they already do. Okay. But then at the same time, she's telling you how, that there shouldn't be any surveillance, but there is. It's all surveillance. It's wild.
The government should avoid imposing regulatory obligations, including Bank Secrecy Act obligations, on a software developer who does not have custody of users' assets or the ability to override users' choices. Additionally, government should pursue bad actors who use privacy-protecting tools for nefarious purposes while protecting good actors who develop and publish these tools and the law-abiding citizens who use them to protect themselves from bad actors. I look forward to hearing today from builders and policy professionals as they discuss how we can use new technologies to protect the nation and to preserve the liberties that make this nation so special, including the freedom to live a private life.
Yep, you nailed it right here. It's Bitcoin or slavery. It really is. I know that all of that sounds good, and I'm not sitting here telling you that, Hester Pierce is an evil person and is trying to do evil things. No, this has nothing to do with any of that stuff. Okay, what it has to do with is that quite often, okay, we end up hearing of wonderful intentions, right? And what's that saying? That the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Every single person before they started to do evil. Well, I shouldn't say every single person, but a great majority of people who thought that they were that they were doing good, right? They all had good intentions, right? And they ended up doing some of the worst evil and atrocities in humanity, and it was all done under good intentions, right? Protecting the nation, right? This protectionism. We got to keep people safe, right? And then eventually, you're just keeping people safe from themselves. So, look, I do agree with her, of course, that obviously people shouldn't be going to jail for writing code, right? I am just less optimistic because I'm older and I'm jaded. I've already seen this. I've already seen these people lie for years. It's just nothing new. So while I appreciate it, and I hope it goes in the direction of personal freedom and privacy, I just don't have much hope, because I've never seen a government reduce their own power, control, and moat. Sorry, you don't see that. Oh, you already missed the Hopium stuff. Now we're in the everybody hates us phase, but it's okay. We still got some funny stuff to go through. Verhoofdy Floofen is the Hopium Den. It was the Hopium Den 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. Okay. Anyways, continuing back on, because of course we've got more stuff to cover. Let's go take a look at our fail. No, not our fail, actually. Before we go to the fail, so this is an interesting one, right? The largest Bitcoin mine in Texas. Now, I have to say, as a computer geek, the second I looked at this was the first thought I had. Does it not look like an integrated circuit? It's like the building blocks of society, right? Like in this particular case, it's the building blocks of technology and computers. But isn't that nuts? Is that a troll? Did somebody? Anyways, very interesting. There are no coincidences. I don't think that symbolism is meant to be lost upon us. I think it's meant to imply where we're going with mining. So. Yeah, that's right. Trying to stay sober. I'm just trying to make sure. Wait, is it off the wagon or on the wagon? Or when you're sober, you're on the wagon, but when you're not sober, you fall off the wagon. Yeah, that's how it works. I guess I'm on the wagon. Anyways, very weird though, how they look like IC chips, right? Kind of weird. Anyways. Okay, here we go. This post from Grubbles or Grubbles. I don't really know how to pronounce his name. And yeah, let's dive into the massive ETH capitulation. Consensus, a company led by an Ethereum co-founder, Joe Lubin, right, who also helped sell the ETH ICO, right, primarily for doing Ethereum things. Massive capitulation. What is he talking about? That's right, guys. After years of only serving shitcoins, which I thought all the shitcoins were better than Bitcoin. I thought they had more features. I thought they had more adoption, right? According to the marketing, crypto is this giant thing and Bitcoin's just this little speck. Really? Really? Well, here we go, guys. MetaMask now supports BTC. I am very curious which Bitcoin maximalists are going to be using MetaMask. That thing has had so many. I mean, besides the fact that they only support, well, not anymore, right? Now they're supporting Bitcoin. They have to bend the knee. But in the past, they only supported shitcoins. So you really had absolutely no use, right? Unless you had shitcoins or were dabbling in shitcoins, you really had no use for MetaMask. And on top of that, it's like a browser extension. There's been so many hacks through MetaMask. I find this absolutely comical. Yeah, I mean, really, is anybody actually going to use this crap, right? Now the turntables have turned. It's like, damn, that is just crazy, crazy stuff. Oh, Phil, what did you say here? Did you guys hear? Larry Fink says there's too much leverage in BTC. Interesting. I'm telling you. I think I genuinely believe that institutions are essentially attempting to shake whatever hodlers they can out. And again, these types of wild swings like the one that we're seeing today, this just totally reminds me of previous bull runs that were not over. But again, my own hopium, right? It's just me trying to, cope, I guess, right? It's just me trying to cope. Who knows? But if I'm right, you'll be thrilled. No, I'm kidding. All right. Let's keep going here, guys. The Samourai stuff, yeah, I agree. Total shakeout right now. I completely agree that it's a shakeout. I think it's complete nonsense. And like we saw this morning, right? Like that massive candle, right? And then immediate, like 3% up, 3% down, like straight shot, It's just like a confidence killer. If you've got paper hands, this action is totally tiring you out. If you do not have conviction, this action is burning you out. Okay? And that's too bad. That's right. I am telling you there's a chance because I'm telling myself there's a chance. We're funny, right? We're funny as people. All right. As long as you don't build tools that enable privacy on Bitcoin, you get a simple fine and no jail time. That's right. That's right. You got to bend the knee to the state. Otherwise, the state ruins your life. And anybody who pretends that it's not the state and you on the other side just unfortunately has never experienced any of the weight of the state. I didn't mean to make that rhyme, by the way. All right, so what was Free Samourai account talking about? So here we go. Bitcoin exchange Paxful to pay $4 million criminal penalty for willfully violating the Bank Secrecy Act. Well, that sounds pretty serious. The company enabled transactions with high-risk jurisdictions, including Iran and North Korea. Wait a second. This exchange laundered funds for quote-unquote enemies of America? And nobody goes to jail? They just have to pay a fine? Man. It's almost like they're in the club. It's almost like they're in the club and they get a pass. Right? You just pay the fine. When you're in the club, you pay the fines, and that's it. Yeah, it is total treason. It's complete and utter bullshit. And you know what? Thank God that there's so much noise. By the way, shout out to that Decrypt journalist that asked the question to Donald Trump. Right? I ended up finding out later that it was a Decrypt journalist that had asked him about Samourai. So there's a lot of great noise last night. BTC Sessions was doing like a Samourai-a-thon or whatever it was, where I don't even know, it could even still be going on. So it is really amazing to see, you know, Bitcoiners rally around Samourai and genuinely, right? Genuinely put whatever petty differences people may have aside and realize what the bigger fight is. Okay. The bigger fight is personal freedom and the right to privacy. Doesn't matter if people called you an asshole or not. Okay. Just doesn't matter. Yeah. And guys, of course, right? If you want to help Samourai out, if you want to help out Bill and Keone, the link is always in the show notes, right? You can go sign the petition and or donate. Guys, you know the deal. It is the end. That's right. End of the episode. Thank you all so much for joining me. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 12:10 p.m. Eastern time once again, and we're going to go through all the fun. So guys, have a great rest of the day, and I will catch you tomorrow. Take it easy.